Well, hello, everybody. Oh, what a treat you have. What a treat you have on the YouTubes right now. We've heard your cries, people. We've heard it in the comments. You like when the Truthy twins complain about some movies. So we thought we'd give you all a little treat and complain about a movie that we both hated dearly. What's up, Jamie?
It's I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
I don't think people understand what they're asking for.
I don't know that other people are ready for this, but I'm ready for this.
The full power of the Truthy twins just coming. It's like isn't it like Care Bears? They shoot shit out of their chest.
Oh yeah,
But us, it's
big link arms.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna link arms and shoot hatred on some shit.
Yeah,
yeah. So we thought, people asked for it. We thought we'd be, who are we to deny that we'd get together for these little things where when we find a movie that we really really hate, that you could listen to Jamie and I just word vomit. Just get it out of our system so that maybe we could sleep at night again.
Yeah.
And for this first movie, it's been in the back of my throat.
If only we recorded the previous times we have already done this. I mean, it took us a long time to even.
You know what? It's still not enough though. I still have it there. I still people in public will like say, "Hey, did you see this movie?" And I go, "Ugh, don't." It's terrible. What's crazy is I think you and I are in the minority because from what I saw online, most people are seeming, for some reason, I don't know if there's lead in the water where they live or head injury galore. I don't know, but people seem to like this movie. So without further ado, this movie we're going to be unloading on here tonight is the recent film, if you want to call it that. Film. Longlegs. If you haven't seen it, don't. But it's basically Nicolas Cage's new movie. About it's all I can describe it as, which has become my new thing. It's basically Aldi's brand Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You go in there thinking, "Oh, off-brand should be fine," and in this case, it's not.
Off-brand should be fine. Yeah.
So, Jamie, I think it's in stages, right?
Yeah.
As we let's build up our hatred here.
Sure.
When the trailer first came out for this, did you want to see it?
Okay. When the trailer first came out for it, I was like, like whatever. Like I'll probably watch it. And then they pushed real hard that this was gonna be, I don't even want to call it disturbing. You and I are horror fans. That doesn't work on us but they pushed real hard that this was just going to be like the next big, like serial killer disturbing movie, like Silence of the Lambs and Seven, which I love those movies. Right. And, we haven't had one in a long time. And then they were saying how this is Nicolas Cage's, like, I was kind of intrigued. I'm not even a Nick Cage fan. We've done plenty of movies here with him, but like, it was like, this was going to be his moment. Like he might be nominated for this role. And I was just like, well, this is interesting. And you've never seen anything like it. And then so now talking about marketing though, this was the thing. They refused to show him. And we now know why, you and I, but they refused to show him. And I was just like, maybe he's just going to be super fucked up. This is going to be like crazy. This isn't like a situation where you just don't want to know who the killer is. This is like, we can't show you what he looks like. Then they released that thing with Micah Monroe's heartbeat. And when she first saw him, and they kind of got me more so that, like I have said here, I'm not a very big movie theater goer. I'm a very big movie watcher, but it's at home. And so this one, I was just like, but let me see it before someone just fucks this up for me or it gets ruined. I was like, because at that point, we know how everything goes so quickly. I was like, what? Go to theaters often. It's a weeknight. I went on a weeknight. I was like, let's spend the night in the movie theater and see this. So the marketing kind of like the trailers kind of worked on me. I wouldn't say fully, but just more of like, I don't want this to get ruined for me before I actually sit down on my couch and watch it. So maybe I'll go see why her heartbeat was and what Nicolas Cage looks like. But we'll talk about that reaction.
Hey, what if I told you I went into this 100% blind, not even knowing this was a movie?
You didn't?
No, I've been so busy lately, just stuff going on personally. I haven't been like surf the web looking at stuff a lot. And I had a rare day off. And Mary was like, "Hey, there's this movie out. I kind of want to see. It's a horror movie. You want to come see it with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I haven't been around a lot. Yeah, let's go see a movie." And I was driving, and we get to the lake to turn down the road that takes us to our local theater. And I said, mind you, I had woken up late. Did not have a lot of time to get ready. And I go, "What movie are we seeing?" She goes, "Longlegs." And I went, "Is that a movie about spiders or something?" And she goes, "No." She goes, "It's supposed to be like Silence of the Lambs. It's supposed to be really disturbing, really scary." And I went, "Oh," I said, "they haven't made a movie like that in a long time." I said, "This sounds good. Okay." She goes, "It's supposed to be like really disturbing, and like the trailers of the one actor's heartbeat, and like it looks crazy." I went, "Wow, that sounds nuts." I go, "Okay." So I'm starting to turn the car, and I casually go, "Who's in it?" She goes, "Well, I don't know if you know a lot of the people, but except for like I guess the big name on it is Nicolas Cage." And I almost plowed my car into the car in front of me because my head whipped. And I went, "Are we really going to see a Nicolas Cage movie?" She goes, "No. Apparently, like this is supposed to be serious.
Yeah,
There is talks. This is supposed to be good." She said that about like they're saying this might be like a career defining movie. He's producing it. He's taking it serious. People are already saying he could win an Oscar for it. And I went, so then I'm like thinking, I'm like, well, maybe if he took this serious, like did like this kind of role, like that actually might be pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, this could be his moment. We could see the moment that he gets whatever accolade that he.
So seeing no trailers, just learning what this movie is about, and that Nicolas Cage's in it. I turned down into the theater parking lot thinking, well, this shouldn't be too bad. Little did I know. Little did I know. Jamie, what was your initial thoughts of this movie? Let him have it. Let him have it.
All right, we'll do it because we know what the point of this is for. So we know what my overall thoughts are. I will just say that sitting in the theater and it's starting, and I feel like you and I definitely discussed with Mary because she texted me like either a couple of days, like I don't remember. So was just like it started off with promise. I'm not gonna lie.
They tricked you too.
It tricked. Oh, totally.
They tricked you too. Yep.
About 2/3 of the movie, maybe. Let's just say. Now, I want to say with a caveat, 2/3 of like the movie, I was thinking this can be, and the premise is there. So I'm not denying some of that, but the moment you see Nicolas Cage, like I literally, I don't know. I don't anything that anybody is saying about his performance. It has to work on the movie or be a fucking plant because I'm sorry. The moment he shows up, it's comical. Like it's not even there's nothing about this performance that I could take quote unquote seriously or creepily, or he looks like he's got like grandma makeup on and there's no, you know what? We're ranting for a reason. There's no fucking explanation behind why he looks this way. Right. Now, I want to preface this with I did see this when it came out. So we're a little bit removed. I know it's now on demand or rent, but there was no fucking way I was paying to watch this again for us to do this. I will do that for other movies that we do. But like I had just seen this in fucking theaters and I'm not paying for it right now to fucking watch
Never again.
Garbage again.
They stole my money once.
They did. So, and my time.
Yes.
So, he shows up on screen. They finally show him. And I'm just like, this is what everybody is fucking praising. This is what her heartbeat, this is bullshit. He looks like a fucking clown, literally. A grandma clown. Like, I don't, and you get maybe not plot hole number one. I hate to call everything a plot hole, but like non-explanation number one is why this man even fucking looks like this to any fucking, I thought we were going to get something on why he looks this way. So anyway, your question to me was when I sat down and watched, because we are going to rant about this, but it tricked me. You are right. Yeah. It starts off like, we know me, I'm a glutton for it. Starts off with like a shootout, like someone gets shot right away that you don't expect. It's where like, she's a little weird and we'll get there, but that's her character. And I'm like, okay, this movie has like promise. And then they show you Nicolas Cage and I'm like, oh, never mind. It's no.
Same here. I literally, we got in theaters. I got because my new obsession in life is nerd gummy clusters.
Yep.
I got my big bag, got my drink, sat down. The movie starts, and I'm the same way. Like the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, like I'm like, I don't know if I compare this to Silence of the Lambs.
let's take that movie out of
let's
this.
just
But yeah.
let's not. I was like, but this could be interesting. This could be interesting. Then you get that initial. By the way, spoilers alert! If you haven't caught on yet,
it would tough
Jamie
shit.
and Eli hating this movie is Longlegs. Spoiler all out there.
Oh yeah, we're not keeping anything. I hope you saw this movie. Otherwise, don't fucking listen to us ranting about a movie.
See it first, then listen to us. But like, so it's like 20 minutes are going. I'm like, okay, all right. Then they do that quick show of his face, and I remember like turning and looking at Mary, going, I hope that's not his final look. Like maybe it's a disguise or something. I'm not sure what that was. That like a mask or what? I don't know. Let's just keep watching. Let's keep watching. And then I'll tell you the moment I knew that I was fucked, that this whole thing was gone, done, over, was that scene when they go to the pathologist. They're talking to the pathologist doing the autopsy.
Oh God!
That scene, that whole conversation, which I'm sure we'll get to, happens.
We do, because I have
on
it too. Yeah.
Literally looked at Mary, and I could not stop myself. Out loud, I said, "What the fuck did you bring me to?" Because like it was the most absurd, stupid thing I've ever seen in my life. And then everything that happened got progressively worse, to the point where even Mary, who's like, oh no, like wait till the ending, let's see what happens. About 3/4 way, she looks at me, she goes, I don't know what this is. I don't understand what's happening. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. And then the whole time it was like a scene from The Office. We both did the Jim side eye where like something happened. I just like do this to her and she'd do it to me back. Like we both knew.
Yeah. I first of all, I think the first time Kate shows up, I went middle of the theater, because like it's just there's no way I was keeping that in.
No.
I had to literally like read stuff on the way home, whatever, because I just couldn't understand if I was for somehow missing some bigger story here that would have made this way better than it is. But no, there really is not.
Let's just start there. Let's start at old fucking Nicky Cage.
Let's start at Nicky Cage.
First off, the fucking voice he does throughout this whole movie, it's like he's doing a bad Steven Tyler impression. I told Mary my exact description was, people say that Steven Tyler dresses and talks kind of like a grandma.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage was if Steven Tyler was a grandma in this movie. He's got like this weird look. He like sings the whole fucking movie, which is the most absurd, annoying thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, not well. Yes.
And then like it makes no sense why he looks this way, why he talks this way.
Not once.
And then after the movie comes out, interviews are like, oh, well, he's a retired rock star. What?
Oh, really? I know. Yeah, that was not a.
Apparently, like the one scene in his room, you could see one of his rock posters for his band, and like I guess there was like a little ARG about this movie, like for this movie, like online or whatever, and like you could maybe find that, but like who the fuck was doing that for this?
No, yeah.
And then in the interview, Nicolas Cage was like, "Oh, the way we got the look was this is how my mom looked with cold cream on her face." And I was like,
"What kind of look is that? Why does a person look like that?"
Like, it makes no sense.
It's like so, like you said too. Spoilers about whatever, but a lot. So you find out later in this movie, and I'm not gonna say like, but this movie heavily has to do with fucking dolls. So I was waiting for some explanation that he tried to make himself look like a doll, or a doll maker or something, like I don't know what. Like I know he's a doll maker, but I mean like trying to make him look like something to do with this. But nope, nothing. Guys, you get nothing. He just looks like this. This was his creative choice or their creative choice.
So the whole premise is that he's a Satanist. If I'm following this convoluted bullshittery, he was a Satanist who was also really good at making porcelain dolls, which like those two seem unrelated.
Satanist. Yep.
But okay. And through the powers of Satan, he figured out how to take this tungsten ball, put Satan in it, and then he would have this lady randomly take the dolls that he based off girls he liked the look of to their house.
Wait, they also have birthdays on specific dates for
that's right.
no reason in the movie that's necessary at all.
Their birthday has to fall within the same week in March, which it literally means nothing. It's irrelevant. Have this lady convince these families that she's from Catholic Charities, and they have a program where they drive around to people's houses giving life-size porcelain dolls to little girls on their birthday, which literally makes zero sense. And then once it's in the house, the devil escapes his tungsten ball, replaces the ball with part of the girl's soul, possesses the father to kill everyone in the house.
Everything you're saying is, I think, what was
that is what he does. That is what he does. And the first time you see this tungsten ball is like when they find one of these dolls, they send it to a pathologist, a forensic pathologist who does autopsies. One, that makes no fucking sense. It's not a person. No other forensic scientists, but they're like, hey, it's shaped like a person. We'll send it to the guy who does autopsies. Then, not only does he do an autopsy on this doll, which that whole scene is the most absurd fucking thing. When you have a doll splayed open like a human autopsy was completed, and he's like, oh, when I opened its head, I found this tungsten ball. And they're like, what's in it? He's like, the only way we know is if we break it. They're like, well, why didn't we do that? Because there's nothing in it.
Yeah, the scene where he's just like, we'll just move on. Like,
and he's like, this is so. And then like the guy's like eating a sandwich or whatever, and he's like, this is so weird. Ugh. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did they find him? Like, this is the worst forensic person I've ever seen in my life.
Ignore the only weird thing you find in the doll. Sure. Yeah. Ignore it and move on and say it's just a doll.
Oh, guess we're back to ground zero. Because like we don't he says there's no point in opening it. It's like, what?
The doll, by the way, that they find because they go to a past survivor from one of these massacres that apparently no one has interviewed for like 20 years.
Correct.
This cold case has been sitting here because apparently the FBI just doesn't want to do work.
And so not only did no one talk to her, they never looked in the barn.
No, they did. Apparently they're the worst. Like,
and this was the first time in 20 years they decided to look in this fucking barn that this horrific murder-suicide took place. And then like they open it and there's all these upside down crosses. They're like, oh, we should look in this barn. I'm like,
I should maybe check this out.
What?
A long time ago. The only surviving victim or whatever is just sitting in her little mental institute or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, great.
Nobody. I'm sure there was some excuse on they must have interviewed her, but regardless, it's like nobody's visited her since the incident. Yeah. She's just been sitting there with information about because didn't it lead them right to they find the doll after the girl, right? It goes in that order. She leads, I think, back something like that.
Well, no, they talk to her, then they go find the doll.
Yeah.
And they're like, should we go back talk to her? Like, no,
nah.
No, that's fine. Oh, wait, the serial killer.
Even though also the movie visited her. He visited her.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember that too? Like he visits her in the mental institution.
And they know he did.
People are just like,
never go back talk to her. They're like, yeah, whatever.
The effort they put in is, I mean, it's almost as much effort as they put in to figure out the ciphers behind me, which they needed a psychic to do or whatever.
We're gonna get to that. I think the way I'm gonna introduce this before we get to the ending, because like that ending makes me want to stick a pencil in my eye. I think we should circle around this shithole as these turds fall in. So that's you got Nicky Cage, right?
Yeah.
The other main character you have is the cop who's supposed to be Clarice, except for the twist is, which first, the beginning of the movie, okay, they introduce her as psychic.
Yes.
They're like, well, not even introduce it. Well, kind of. They're like, hey, we're looking at this other serial killer. She has a psychic vision.
Yeah, she has like some, yes. She knew what house it was. She knew what house it was just by a feeling or whatever.
That's right. Her partner gets killed.
Yes.
She arrests the guy.
Yes.
And then, like, she gets assigned to this case with her captain, and her captain goes, "You scored the highest on the FBI psychic test," which sounded a little weird. That, like, I was like, okay, whatever. It's the first 20 minutes. I'm kind of in this. Okay.
Yeah, it was. We were gonna let things go. I was gonna like let it go.
She was like, "Oh, well, I only passed it by 50%. Still seems like pretty good odds." Okay. That's within the first 10 minutes of this movie. And I was like, psychic Clarice, that could be interesting. That psychic thing never happens again in the rest of the movie. No one brings it up. Nothing. It's not even a thing the rest of the movie. And I know some people are arguing like, well, yeah, but like sometimes when she went to that door, she had visions. Shut up. No. No.
Well, the thing with the psychic thing is so we're going to be all over the place. But the thing with this movie that was it. Like, you're telling me it's a Silence of the Lambs, like kind of 7-ish. Like, that's what I was ready to sound like you guys 2 for. Like, I wanted a new fucked up, like, and for all intents and purposes, 7 is like a fucked up movie. It's still like, to me, to this day, there are certain scenes that will stick to you with you. I don't need to really talk about the knife dildo. That'll be something that will never leave my brain. It's just like, I wanted something like we were going to get like that. And now, even with her being psychic, I was willing to let that go, because if that's the angle they wanted to take with this, to whatever we're going to get with the serial killer, that is fine. But as you even said, fucking to bring in the devil and fucking, first of all, this director is already fucking done. And is he obsessed? Like, is he just obsessed with Satanism and the devil? Because all his movies are just going to be devil worship. That's a side note. But like, to bring that element in and that like supernaturally demonic element, I didn't need in this movie. I wanted people are fucked up. I wanted a fucked up person serial killer movie. 7 and Silence of the Lambs are those movies. There is no psychic element to it. There is no fucking demonic possession element to it. But I was going to go with like you said, I was going to go with the psychic. If that's what they wanted, because they're going to use it to explain something. Like, if we need it because she was going to show up in the right place at the right time, something like that, fine. But like you said, now it becomes irrelevant for this movie that she has these psychic abilities, because they don't even help her in the most obvious of situations, like the fucking door that's locked in her mom's house, which we will talk about, that she just says, "Oh, a door that I can't open all of a sudden." Like, that's just completely locked and leads somewhere. Oh, okay. I'll just ignore it. It's okay.
I get weird snake visions when I touch
Bugs
it.
are coming out of it.
Whatever.
Oh, it's okay. Oh yeah, visions. Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah. Like, I saw people online, they're like, "That's because the devil was it." I'm like, shut up. No, shut up.
No. I did not need the fucking devil in this movie at all. Not only did it ruin this movie and make the ending, we'll talk about, like, make the plot so fucking stupid, but like, I just I don't need the devil to always be blamed for like my serial killer motives. Like, just give, like, people are fucked up enough as they are. I don't need you to be like.
And this might be the worst portrayal of the devil I've ever seen in my life. It's like the lamest thing. I don't even understand. We'll get that, but I don't understand. But so this psychic lady who's not really psychic.
Who's not really psychic, who doesn't matter.
It's only psychic.
Just doesn't matter.
Well, she's only psychic the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's not even like she loses her psychic powers. They just never bring it up again.
Yeah, no.
Is the most like I think they're trying to portray her as like, oh, she's just kind of weird. And there's obviously something going on, and like you find out later something happened to her when she was a kid. And like maybe she just came off as like a synthetic. You know what?
Yeah.
The guy we just talked about Aliens.
Yeah.
The new Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
And like in that movie, there's a synthetic who was damaged and has problems. That thing appeared more human than she did.
Oh, she is not a human being. She's a person trying to play quirky or something, or I don't know what, but like playing it all wrong, like just playing it completely.
It's like wrong. You told an alien about a movie or about a human, and the alien but's never seen a human or a video of a human.
Just acting.
And they're just like acting like what based on what someone told them. Because like every scene, even scenes that didn't matter to the plot or had nothing to do with anything, she was so painfully weird and awkward that it like took me out of the movie. Because I'm like, why is she doing that? Why is she acting this way?
It was almost every actor in this movie when you think about it, because Nick Cage was a fucking joke.
Yep.
She was awkward to watch. Her mother, like, and all these people are established actors. Like, I know all these actors, like, and I've never seen them play and then you got fucking Kiernan Shipka, whatever she is, who plays high school in one movie, and the next day
49.
It's like, and her too. I've seen her in so many things, and I'm supposed to like find this believable. She's like on the edge. She threatened to kill her. She threatens to kill herself. She like is like obsessed with him, but like whatever. I don't know. And I'm just sitting there. She's playing in this mental institution, and this is the worst portrayal of this character either. Like, I don't know what all these people were playing, but they were way missed the mark. All of them.
It was crazy. And even like her weirdness and what else was going on. Because like, perfect example, all right? Nicolas Cage starts like stalking her early or something. Like, you need to solve this and figure this out, which makes no sense, but okay, sure. And there's this scene where he like, because he writes in all these codes like the Zodiac Killer. And he like breaks in her cabin because she lives in a cabin for some reason and gives her the key to break the code. So then this case for 20 years that no one's been able to solve this code. Next morning, she comes to the next crime scene, has all of it decoded. Everything he's written in 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, how did you figure that out? Even the FBI code crackers could. She's like, I just stared at it long enough. What? What do you mean you stared at it long enough? And they're just like, oh, okay. Okay, sure.
There's no way that the FBI doesn't have a fucking group that can crack a fucking cipher. This thing is like, for all intents and purposes, is the same thing you can get in a goddamn fucking puzzle book in the airport. Like, if you buy those books and it's just fucking symbols for letters, and everybody who's ever taught you is you start with like the single letters. That has to be I or A. Done. You fill that in for the fucking rest of it. Do I need to teach you all how to do a fucking cipher? Then you look for like the 2-letter words or whatever. And if you see what be it or is or whatever, you move from there. Like, single letter is I or A, and that is it, right? I mean, I might be forgetting a letter here, but that is it. And you work from there. This fucking FBI just threw these things. This fucking code. Like, I don't. And then, like you said, then he gives her the answers.
Yep.
And now here's the other thing. And like, again, spoiler alerts, we're not even leaving things out. It's just that we haven't said things yet. But like, her mom is the fucking is the other conspirator in this or whatever. Why is he threatening his partner's daughter?
Yeah.
Threatening to kill her mother.
Well, not even that. The threat was
that he will
I'll cut her milkers off.
Or chop her. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll chop her milker. He calls them milkers off. And it's like, what
he calls them even something weird in that. I think, it's like, but like, why? He needs it for what I can understand, because by the way, this movie explains literally nothing except for an info dump that still doesn't explain anything. It just tells you the nonsense about the dolls. But like, why would he kill the one person that he essentially needs to deliver all these things? Like,
and not even like,
why is he threatening her daughter? Is that like, a fun thing? I don't even care. I don't care.
But not even kill her, but word in a way of like, I'll cut her milk boobs off or whatever he says. And it's like like that's how he threatens people? Like, okay. And then she goes to the FBI, doesn't tell them that he gave it to her because he threatened her mom, who she doesn't really talk to because she's a hoarder, which is a weird element in this movie that makes no sense.
Yeah, the mom is
mom's a hoarder. She doesn't like talk to her that much.
Yeah.
But then she, like, the FBI's like, how'd you figure all this out? And she's just like, I stared at it long enough. And they all go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then they get to a scene where they go to talk to this witness who they haven't talked to in 20 years. And they realize that the killer was there the day before and signed himself into the hospital as this same FBI agent's name. And they're just like, well, that's weird. She's like, yeah, I don't know. And they're like, no, okay. They're like, never once were they like, this is weird. This is really connected. How'd you solve this? It was just like, oh, okay. Well, that's weird. I wonder why he's targeting you.
Yeah, you. Yeah, everything is like, why it has to do with her. Nobody questions why she's involved in this in any way, shape, or form. And
then finally, when you think that they're going to do something smart, the captain's like, I looked in your past. It seems like this guy may have tried to pick you up when you were a child. She was like, I don't remember that. And he's like, well, just ask your mom. By the way, we got to go to this other crime scene. And she's like, oh, okay.
Ask your mom. We'll figure it. Yeah. It's, again, this case has only been sitting for 20 years. This man is still killing people, right? For all intents, he's
every March during that 1 week.
During that week, so now 2 things. One, They've been working on this case for however long. They all know about this. They know every detail to some extent because they can't fucking solve it about this case. The chief or whatever he is at the FBI, his daughter's birthday is coming up. We find this out immediately that his daughter's birthday is coming up on one of the fucking dates that this guy continuously tries to abduct or kill or whatever.
Yeah.
And the chief never once thinks my perfect age daughter for this is like possibly going to be a suspect in this situation.
Not even that, Jamie.
And then
but the FBI for 20 years didn't realize all the victims were born in the same 4 days until Robot Clarice figured it out.
Date, until she calls it out. And then all it does though is make like a pentagram or some nonsense, right? It's not even a pentagram. It makes some symbol of the devil or something, right? Is that not what it does?
It's based on an algorithm.
Makes a fucking symbol.
The line in this movie is literally, I figured out these dates. If you look, it makes a paper algorithm. And I was like, a what? A paper algorithm? And I'm like, what is that? And it's just a bunch of dates with circles on it.
That could have been my, so a side note for anybody that doesn't know, and I use it all the time. There's an app that's called Run to Pee. It's really helpful because it tells you when you could pee in a movie without giving you spoiler alerts. It's amazing. But half this movie can run to pee, and for some reason that scene was not one of them, where it takes her 3 minutes of the movie to circle dates and draw out a fucking pentagram. I'm still going to call it pentagram. I know it was not. Nobody has to correct me. I don't remember the fucking symbol. It's a fucking Satanist symbol. I don't remember. But like, literally sit there and watch her circle every date as she's explaining it to him.
Draw every line.
And like triangle and the like.
Explain it in like a I don't know, a 6-minute scene when literally it could have been explained as he's killing them all in the same 4 days of March. And if you look at the different years on the calendar, if you put them on this paper algorithm,
first you had to write it out in that way. Who writes it out? Like it only works if you write out dates. Like she was writing them out. Like there's no other way that works.
Jamie, it's called a paper algorithm. Like, hello. Okay. Hello.
Why? Again, it doesn't matter fucking why, because this movie doesn't tell you why these girls all had to be born in this, like, make this fucking symbol. Like, it's.
And in the meantime, you get these, like, different shots of Steven Tyler, Nicolas Cage. Like, he's just laying in his basement singing. He's making a doll. He's reading the Bible. Oh, now he goes to a hardware store to buy doll making stuff. We can't
talk about behind you right now. Because
oh my God, this scene. He does this weird thing with his hands where he covers his eyes and goes, peekaboo, peekaboo. And there's a scene where he goes into a hardware store and there's like this teenage girl working behind the counter. And like he walks in a bathrobe and long johns, which if you're trying to hide from being a murderer, doesn't seem like your outfit you should wear. Goes in, grabs the stuff, walks up the counter, does that weird peekaboo thing and goes, when is your birthday? And she's like, Dad, a weird guy's back. My dad's gonna kick your ass.
Stop there one moment. Is back. She literally in this movie says that creepy guy. First of all, she yells it out loud about a man who could possibly just kill her right away. She screams out loud, Dad, that whatever she calls him, creepy, is back. Yeah. Why have they not called the cops on this man previously?
Yeah. He wasn't even wearing shoes. And then it cuts back to Robot Clarice, like, doing her paper algorithm. Then they cut back to him in the car singing.
Oh, this song.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, weird, like, Ford Pinto, just, like, okay, great, cool. The captain's an idiot. Robot Clarice is an idiot. He's fucking weird. Like, the only smart person in this movie is that teenage girl behind the counter.
Oh, yeah, that calls him weird. Right? That's it.
That's it. Only smart character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
So, let's get to the ending of this bullshit.
God.
And you get to the ending. And they figure out, I think because that weird girl finally just like, fuck it, my dad hasn't done anything about this weirdo, calls the cops. So because of that, they triangulate. Which also doesn't make any sense.
Him? I don't even remember.
Triangulate where he's at. But, like, at no point do they're like, oh, well, that's near our agent's mom's house. But whatever.
No, nobody cares.
Sure.
It's near. No, doesn't matter.
They arrest him, have him in a room, and they go to Robot Clarice. They go, listen, we know he could have tried to abduct you and your kid. He has this weird thing where he impersonates you at this place. Your mother seems to know more about him than she's willing to tell. We're going to have you questioned. And she's like, oh, okay. And you're like, okay, well, this seems odd, but sure. And
the fact that, wait, I have to point you, the fact that she's not pulled off this case, especially the moment. So we have to watch they watch the video of when he was arrested, and he's literally talking about her and like talking about her, whatever. And not only is she allowed to watch this in the room, which I mean, maybe she would see it in some time, but I feel like it shouldn't be in a briefing or whatever the fuck this is, where the whole FBI is watching it. Nobody's even looking at her. She's sitting right there and nobody's like, but that's when you get pulled off this case because it's too personal, like whatever, like when it's just like, it involves you literally 100%. As a victim or a,
Hey, but no, not this FBI, Jaime. This FBI, really they let smart. You question the perp.
They're really smart. I've only seen a police force this smart, and there's been a couple. Dexter, I don't know if you guys watched the TV show. Miami Metro is about as fucking smart 100%. As this FBI.
Every police station is Supernatural. Every police station is Supernatural. Because either they were too inept to figure out what was going on, or they were involved somehow. There's always one of the two in all 19
there's some that where you get this dumb, the dumbest of. This is one of the dumbest of the FBI in a movie.
The worst. She goes in to talk to him, in which he sings because he doesn't talk in this movie. He sings the whole fucking movie in his high-pitched Steven Tyler impersonation voice. And then like satanic sermon about how he's coming back and whatever, and like basically says, your mom has been helping me all along, and then proceeds to headbutt the table to death. He headbutts himself to death.
The only good scene in the movie.
It's the only gory scene, really.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's the only horror scene in this movie. Sorry, I want to preface. Not that I'm saying this like was a horror. This is a thriller for all intent, or whatever. Psychological thriller. Same again. Silence of the Lambs, or whatever. It's not billed as a horror movie, although I think it kind of is. But when I'm going to see a fucked up serial killer movie, I assume I'm going to get some fucked up deaths and whatever. And it is important to note that Eli just said the only gore in this movie is him smashing his face against the table and a few dead bodies that are already dead. You get the one shot to the head in the early in the movie or whatever, where you think this is going to be an action, like kind of crazy movie. And then you get like those people rotting in the bed, right? That like think that was in this movie.
Which like even then, like you really couldn't tell what they were because like they made like they were shaped. They looked like turds. They looked like giant turds laying in this bed, which was kind of weird. It is a giant turd.
Anyway, sorry, I'm interjecting with.
No, please do. So Nicolas Cage headbutts table, headbutts himself to death. You heard that right. He headbutts a table himself to death. Blood sprays everywhere. The captain's mad. You just cost us the case. And he leaves. And then synthetic Clarice turns to this new cop person who just shows up and goes, I think my mom's involved. And I gotta be the one to arrest her. And that cop lady, after all this stuff happened, after she said, hey, your mom's involved. I just killed myself in front of your cop. All this weird stuff. She was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'll take you. Yeah. They drive to the mom's house. She looks at her and goes, do you want me to go in? She goes, no, you just wait in the car. I'll get her to come out. And that cop goes, okay, sure. And she's like wandering around her house looking for her mom. Her mom goes out, shoots the cop in the head with a shotgun. She hears this noise, finally goes in the basement, comes outside, sees, oh my God, there's a doll of her. And her mom goes, this is how we'll end it. Shoots the doll. Devil juice smoke, devil vape. It looked like vape smoke, devil vape smoke, rise in the air. Synthetic Clarice goes unconscious. Then the mom proceeds to take her down and lay her in the Nicolas Cage's bed because he's been living in the fucking basement
the door that's been
whole
locked this
time.
whole time. He's been living for 20-something years then, theoretically, right? So this girl's whole life, so let's discount whatever she's gotten as a child.
Sure.
And let's just say this girl, as soon as she became of legal age, she left the house. Like some people do, like that's what they do. They want to distance themselves from their family. As soon as they can, they move out. They go on their own, they go to college, they do whatever, they never come back home. But from the ages of whatever to whatever, and then visiting, presumably she does visit her mom. They did set up that it may not be that often, but they spend holidays or birthdays or whatever together. She's questioned why this fucking basement door, whatever door it is, cannot open.
Yeah.
Ever in her life. Ever. Just And it's like, it's not even like a hidden basement door. It's like literally a door right in like the living room or something, right? Like where the kitchen, it's like right in the fucking like main
by
area
the kitchen,
of the house.
right there.
And they also never heard anything down there, not once.
Nope. Even
he's
though
not fucking singing down there, like
that's all he does. That's all he does is sings.
So
then she calls her mom, and she's like, her mom's like, I have to go do one more job to keep you safe. I'm doing all this to keep you safe, so because he was gonna kill you with Satan or something. And so she's like, synthetically, she's like, oh my God, what do I do? And then she has an epiphany. I was invited to the captain's daughter's birthday this week. It's her birthday. I bet she went there. What? Okay, cool. It's like that scene from Saw, like the first Saw, where like they're all driving crazy to get to the same spot, and they drive there. She gets out, realizes there's a doll sitting next to the captain's daughter. The captain's being weird because obviously he's possessed by Satan. The mom's being weird. She's possessed by Satan. And they're like snippety or whatever. And then Synthetic Clarice and her mom has a conversation where her mom is basically like, I didn't want to do this, but he was going to kill you and for Satan or whatever. So I made a deal with him that I would.
That's when we get the info dump all the way in the house.
When we get
at the party.
Last 10 minutes of the movie.
The last 10 minutes of this movie are by far one of the worst things I have ever seen in a movie.
Yep. Meanwhile, the captain and the wife are like Satan arguing or whatever. And the mom's like, I did all this.
Obviously possessed. He's possessed already.
Of course. He's like, I'm just doing this to save you. If I agreed to do this, if I dress like a nun, bring the dolls to the house and sit there and watch, then he won't murder you or let Satan get you. She says that info dump.
Yeah.
I literally turn to Mary and go, 2 problems with that. 1.
Just 2?
Just 2 for right now. 1.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage is dead. Can't get her.
Yeah, he's at this point, he is fucking dead in this movie.
Dead. Number 2, the mom destroyed her doll, so presumably she's not tied to Satan anymore.
Her daughter, yeah.
So Synthetic Clarice is safe.
Yes.
She didn't even have to go to the house to do this. So she does. So this happens. And then all of a sudden the captain goes, honey, to his wife, let's go get the cake. And the wife's like, I'll be back. And then he's like, no, you won't. And then that's literally the line.
It is a joke. It's literally set up. He goes some about the and says, we'll be back. And he says, I will. I think he might even say, I will, you won't. Yeah. Now, here's the thing with this whole, but I'm interjecting already.
Please do.
This whole, okay, stop. She goes there, no, this is going to happen, whatever. So, like, she knows. The man that she has been working with and working very closely, let's put him at mentor level of like, he's been nothing but nice this whole movie. She's met his family earlier. That's important. That's why she was invited to his birthday. By the way, this daughter's birthday party, I don't know if she has no friends. Everybody hates her. Her own family doesn't like her. No one is there except for the new FBI cop that he's just started working with. That's
and her mom pretending to be a nun. Because Catholic Charities regularly...
But that's because they won the thing.
Of course.
What I'm saying is the only people invited to this party is his new partner-ish in the FBI for the daughter's party. Yep. Okay. So, but anyway, she gets here. Now, this chief that she's been working very closely with, there is literally no doubt in anybody's mind, including hers, that he is now possessed. Not only does she know that every family's dad or whatever becomes possessed and kills his whole family, but he's saying things that are so out of character. And I don't mean like he's sitting there saying like, like random devil thing. But what I mean is his demeanor, everything about him is obviously not the same man. He makes the comment about going in the kitchen and not coming back to the mother. Now, I don't know if she's now just the worst, I don't even want to say FBI, but protective, whatever you want to give her in life, what her instincts are in life. Yeah. But I don't on any police force, FBI force, anything that's supposed to protect me in any way, shape, or form, as she's watching this go down and just goes, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Take her. Okay, cool. Yeah, go. Like, literally watching this man, doesn't once pull a gun on him, is sitting there on the couch with the doll, and maybe she's standing, I don't remember. Sitting there watching this man just completely possessed, literally say, I'm literally saying, hey guys, you wait here. I'm about to take my wife in the kitchen and murder her. You all good? Everybody good? Need a drink? Everybody good? Okay. Yep. I'll be right back.
Worse than that, Jamie. Before they go, The mother literally tells her she saved her because she figured out if you destroyed the ball, you ended it.
She gave the important,
So she even knows how to stop it.
Yeah, she's sitting there with the doll, with the daughter, with the family.
Right. Then proceeds to let the captain take his wife into the kitchen.
Doesn't say, no, wait, hold up, lady.
Nope.
Can I talk to you for a moment?
Nothing.
I have some lady stuff. I have some lady stuff I need to, you know, this guy I'm seeing, I have some problems. Can we go talk about this outside? I need some womanly advice.
Nothing. And loudly murders her in the kitchen. And she does
everybody
nothing.
Sits there.
And the mother's like, you gotta let it happen. It's the only way to keep you safe. Which doesn't make sense because one, we figured out how to stop it. Two, Nicolas Cage is fucking dead. He headbutted himself to death.
Is Nicolas Cage though like our what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, I don't like no, because now he's dead. Like I guess I'm trying never mind.
He's almost
Do we even need Nicolas? Or he just set up this whole thing?
He's basically,
I mean, obviously we don't, is what I'm saying. Like, unless he was tied specifically to the devil, because then once he died, we wouldn't even be doing it anymore. But it's not. It's in
because you find out it's the actual devil doing this, not Nicolas Cage. So he's basically like the doomsday.
Yes, it is. But like
the doomsayer from like the Friday the 13th movies. That old man was like, if you go there, you'll get killed. That's Nicolas Cage. It's like, if you go there, you will get killed. Like, it's fucking the worst. So, cop comes back covered in blood. Doll still sitting there on the couch in the open in front of everybody. Synthetic Clarice, instead of shooting the doll and ending this, proceeds to put 12 rounds or however many rounds into the cop. Now, her captain's dead. His wife's dead.
Just killed him. Yeah.
There's the little girl. There's the doll. There's Synthetic Clarice. There's the mom. Her mom's going, you gotta let this happen so it keeps you safe. Even though technically everyone's dead. And then her mom, in a complete 180 shift.
Wait, also, do they also say, is this like the last one? Was there like, why do I feel like, was the mom like finishing after, like the mom wasn't going to do it anymore, was she? Because I thought because he's dead, this was like the last, I don't know. I don't for some reason this was like the last. Because who's still making the dolls? If he's fucking dead, who's even making them?
Well, even that, she spent 20 minutes saying she was doing this against her will. And the only reason she was doing this was so her daughter wouldn't get killed by the devil. And then after she shoots the husband, she looks at the mom in a complete 180. The mom's like, I am Satan. Oh, Satan.
Mom, all of a sudden the mom is.
And then somehow puts 12 more rounds into her mom, shoots her. And then she goes, and then she looks at the girl and goes, we should leave. And the girl was like, no, I'm going to stay with my doll. And then it was like the light bulb clicked. She goes, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to destroy that doll.
Yeah, fuck, I was supposed to take care of that a long time ago.
Puts the gun up to the doll, goes to shoot, out of ammo, looks over. Devil's sitting on the couch going, eee. And then she looks at the girl and goes, we should leave and leave the doll here because you're tied to Satan now forever. And the girl's like, okay. And they left. End movie. That's the movie. That's the end. That's what happens. What the fuck? What the fuck? That anybody that says this movie's good, you need to get your blood sugar checked. Okay. I think there's something going on
by this because I'm willing, like, first of all, people saying, hey, it's the scariest thing they've ever seen. They've never watched a movie, any movie, because there's nothing scary about this movie, let alone to be the scariest movie we've ever seen. So they've just never watched a movie. Anybody that's putting this on par with Silence of the Lambs should be taken out back and maybe
they should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Fucking bizarre that you can compare this movie to fucking Silence of the Lambs. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again, but like you take something like Silence of the Lambs that's rooted in reality, so it's just creepy and it's fucking smart and it's whatever. Mm-hmm. But you take a cop out and bring the devil in. I'm sorry, anytime you bring in anything supernatural, now I love the show Supernatural. That's not what I'm talking about. Anytime you bring into something that should be based in reality, it's a cop-out to me because now you're just fucking using it as excuses to justify the things you're doing. But in this movie, it doesn't even fucking make sense. And it still doesn't make sense because like you have elements that are rooted in reality, like him writing these fucking codes and him doing all this shit. And at the end of the day, it has nothing to fucking do with anything because the devil is has to do with everything. It's just, it's two movies. It's like he wanted to write another fucking devil movie. Which, for those that don't know, he also did Black Coat's Daughter, which is but like that at least like that's rooted in, I'll take that one. That one's fine. Like, fine. But he wanted to do another fucking devil possession, whatever, Satanist movie. And then he wanted to do a serial killer movie. And whereas he should have just, I mean, maybe he can't write, maybe he started to write a serial killer movie, couldn't fucking get further than wherever he got and was like, fuck it, I don't know how to explain this shit, and mixed them together because it's two fucking movies, neither of them good, mixed together. And I think I hate it even more because I went in thinking I was going to get a new fucked up, like, serial killer to like add to that. And I don't care what anybody says, Nicolas Cage is a fucking joke in this movie. There is nothing creepy about him. There's nothing cool about him. He is so laughable every time he is on screen. I felt like you and I make a lot of jokes about making our own movies and putting me in characters. I feel like when that day comes, we will do better makeup than what was the fuck on Nicolas Cage's face in this movie. Like, I could not believe that this went by a major production. This isn't a streaming movie. First of all, let's not even talk about that. indie movies have better special effects than a lot of the major, but what I'm saying is, I cannot believe that I was sitting in a movie theater watching this produced by a major studio put on my screen that this man fucking looked like this, and that people were praising his performance. I felt like I was in an alternate reality where I'm just like, I'm confused on if I even belong. Like, if people are seeing the same thing I'm seeing, because I cannot understand this. I can't.
It was like I was watching a movie if Willy Wonka decided not to make candy, it decided to be a Devil Wears Prada instead.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
And like the interesting component about him was that, like, he doesn't kill any of these people. He somehow gets the family to kill each other, and like he goes in. I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. And then they're like, because the devil, and I was like,
exactly.
Oh, well, there goes that. Okay,
yeah, I was waiting
there
for that. And it's funny is because as they're starting to reveal that like the family, I was thinking to myself, in what world is there a logical explanation? Because they kept saying he's never killed anybody or whatever, and I was like, oh fuck. So like this man is so charming or whatever. He's convinced, or you think it's cult. You could at least even go with cult or something, but like still rooted in a reality where people are just susceptible to whatever kind of like persuasion. And I'm thinking, as they're explaining that the whole families have been killed, I'm starting to think like, well, that's weird. How did he convince a whole family? Like, and because they're like, it must have been on the inside or someone that knows them very well. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense too. Let's wait and hear where this is going. Or like, not that, that was brought up like a pastor. I'm like, oh, did the pastor fucking like, I don't know, in his sermon? Like, I'm just like waiting to hear the more logical, reality-based explanation to this. And that's the cop out is the fucking devil. And I'm just in fucking dolls. First of all, I've had enough fucking dolls in my movies. I don't even see them. I'm not a Chucky fan. I've seen the originals. I've never seen any of the new ones. I've not watched the show. I've not seen a fucking Annabelle besides like what my feelings on fucking Annabelle.
Your favorite is your favorite.
But it's like, I don't need another movie with a fucking doll. Like, really? And these aren't even like one doll.
They're not even really creepy dolls. They're just giant porcelain dolls.
They're American Girl dolls or whatever. Yeah. They're dolls made of the girl's likeness, right? Like they're supposed to look like them and be like a full size.
But they don't
they're
really.
Not creepy at all. No, they have the same color hair.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like
that's it. They want you to try. Like, I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe if he actually said the lines instead of doing an Aerosmith impersonation,
singing them,
maybe his makeup would have been a little bit creepier and unsettling. But because he was he sung every line.
He's also barely in it. Let's be honest, right? Like he's barely in it. And the whole holding back his reveal worked in the beginning, like I said, until they show him. Now, if he would have been something more fucked up, I would be like, oh, that is really fucking creepy. Yeah. But then you show him, and I was just like, this is the surprise. And then he's barely in it. Yeah. And every time he's in it, he's fucking singing and being dumb. He's dressed like a moron the whole movie. Yep. Like everything, man, is retired clown, can't figure mental patient, not like, sorry, I'm not trying to insult, but I'm just saying like the cliche of like, escaped from a mental asylum in an old horror movie is a clown.
Like in the original Halloween, I would expect to see him in the same outfit standing outside in the lawn in the original Halloween. Loomis pulls up in the rainstorm to like check on Michael, and Michael escapes. Like he's wearing the same outfit, like in his robe and long johns. Like I would expect to see out in that yard that night.
Yeah, it's I could not believe all the shit I read about Nicolas Cage and his performance, because I'm sorry, but like It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. It's so terrible.
The only
It's
way
terrible.
he, like, if they would have went with the angle of him convincing people to kill themselves, the only way they could have done that is if he sat down and said, we're all going to watch Longlegs together. And then the family was like, well, let's just all die so we don't have to watch this. That's the only way I can see that
look
working.
like this. You're all going to look like this.
Yeah. Can I sing you for 2 hours? Nope. No, you cannot. And then the other thing.
The choices made for this. Yeah, what?
The other thing about this movie that just boiled my blood. So the devil in this movie looks like the dolls with silver eyes, smiling, wearing a black veil. Right, shows up
black veil thing. Yeah, apparently, by the way, it's in the movie like 20 times.
It is.
I only saw it like twice.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because the way that veil shaped, it just looks like a giant fucking Christmas tree or a shrub if you're not real up close.
Yeah,
to it.
It just looks like there's no shape to it. You're right. It's just so if you're watching a scene, you just think there's black in the background because it's not. Yes,
it's like that scene in the beginning when the only time she uses her psychic abilities. And they're standing on the road next to the car. It's like in the middle of the road in the background. And when the movie started, I saw that and I was like, what the fuck is that? I told Mary, I was like, I think they must have caught a cameraman or something by accident. Like, see that thing down there? And then like throughout it, you see it like, and then once it's close enough, you realize what it is. You're like, is that just a fucking doll? Like, what is that? And they're like, no, that's the devil. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I saw it a couple times, but again, it's not something that's creepy enough to put in that background. No. Like, it's not something that like creeps you out because you can't even see it half the time.
No,
because it's got no shape to it. It's got no defining. It's got nothing to it.
And then the other thing is his writing, his code writing is all throughout the movie. But like, I don't know why they would think anybody would see that or that would scare them, considering it just looks like fucking gibberish. Like, it doesn't even look satanic or anything weird.
No,
it just looks like fucking gibberish.
No. Like I said, your airport puzzle book, if you guys are going to get work on some long leg. Also, are we even going to talk about the fact that, and I looked this up too, Longlegs means absolutely fucking nothing.
Yep.
It means fucking nothing. And when I read the interview with him, he just thought it was a cool word. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. He was fucking ad-libbing. And he called like Longlegs, like that, whatever. And it's like, okay, great.
Like, it's just for getting an info dump in a movie too. There's still so much of this movie that's not explained and not in like a mysterious or cool way. Like, I don't know why he looks like that. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like, I don't know why he even uses a cipher. I don't know why is he even leaving notes? It really doesn't even fucking matter. Like, there's nothing mysterious about this because we don't even know what even when she does decipher it, we don't go back and look at half the notes. Like, we don't know. Like, it's just like
Jamie, you want to know why they use cipher? It was in an interview because I think what the quiet part out that no one wants to admit out loud with this movie is that it doesn't make fucking sense. And so, like, you get these interviews where people are asking these questions, like, why does Nicolas Cage look like that? He's like, oh, we had this small ARG where he used to be a rock star. Okay, that doesn't really explain why he looks like that, but sure. All right, great. No. You ask Nicolas Cage, he's like, I just wanted to look like my mom. Odd, sure, okay. Someone asked about the cipher. They're like, oh, well, that's just us, Zodiac Killer and his codes are crazy, and we're just referencing that.
Yeah, but well, that's the thing is he's flat out admitted in interviews how much he just took from other famous serial killers and movies. And that's like fine, except that it's like so obvious. Like, we don't even need you to tell me that. I know that this is fucking Silence of the Lambs. I know that she's fucking the worst Clarice I've ever seen. Like, I know that. She's literally her, basically. Like, it's not, but so much worse. And the connection between the two in a way. Yes, Hannibal Lecter didn't have like a past connection with her, but they have a relationship, and it's like that whole. It's just, but none of this is done in any way, shape, or form close to what Silence of the Lambs does. Like,
and for people, like, I still hear that. Like, people talk about it, they're like, man. Anytime they're like, that was like Silence of the Lambs, I'm like, have you seen Silence of the Lambs? Because if you have, you wouldn't say that. What? You're like, but it was really good. 2, is this the only movie you've ever seen? Because if it wasn't, you really wouldn't be saying that. And 3, is this your first horror movie? Maybe if you've never seen another horror movie, you might think this is cool. But if you've seen other horror movies, you would never say this.
Uh,
Like, what are,
I
what are you even
loathe this
talking about?
movie. What's funny is 2 days ago or something. So my sister asked me the other night. My sister's a big horror fan. She watches like a lot. And so I feel like it takes her longer though to get to newer movies because like just doesn't see them in the theater. So she told me the other night, and you'll appreciate this one because you and I have talked about this, and this other movie could be on our list also. Which I'm going to take a poll if anybody watches to tell us of some of these handful of movies that we've already picked out, which one you want us to rant about next. But so she texted me the other day and she goes, "Of these two movies," and I wanted to say when I answered, I said neither of them. So of these two movies, which one should I watch? Her choices were this and the original because it's about When Evil Speaks, or whatever the fuck that movie is that you and I discussed, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
When Evil Speaks? Okay. I said neither. And I thought really hard. I said, listen, if you force me to sit down and watch one of these again, you said, which one you watch again? I literally sat there and said, I can't pick because I never want to watch either of these. So now, and I'm thinking about how much they both made me mad and whatever. And I'm thinking of my sister and which maybe she, and I'm just like, I said, I don't want to watch either of these again. I don't ever plan on watching it. I was like, but I guess if you're going to pick one, maybe Longlegs, so you could rip it apart more. It's fun of it more. And then even as I was saying, there's so much, but it's so much slower even. I was like, maybe this one, there's at least things on the screen to make fun of or whatever. But she asked me and I could not answer that question because I was like, she watches the movie, she watches good horror. And I'm like, I cannot in good conscience tell you to watch either of those movies because, and so then I get her text like, so she watched When Evil Speaks. Is that the right words? When Evil Speaks? Is that what it is? Whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know anymore because it's so terrible.
No, because I'm confusing it with When Evil. I'm confusing it with When Evil Lurks, which is a good movie. Yep. So something evil speaks. Speak no evil. Speak no evil. Is that it?
Speak no evil. That's it. Speak no evil. Yeah.
Speak no evil. I'm so sorry, buddy. Because When Evil Lurks is a very good fucking Spanish movie. Like, I'm not confusing it with that. Speak No Evil, the really bad movie about the family that decides to just go to someone's house that they barely never met before. Okay. Anyway, she watched that one first. And she was ranting about, I said, I told you. I don't even know why once I told you not to watch either, why even keep them on your list? Yeah. Take them off. So then I get a text 2 days ago and she goes, holy shit. Whatever. And she goes, I watched Longlegs. And I was like, I fucking told you. Like, I don't know. You really suffered through both those movies when I told you, like, neither of them are worth watching. And like she said, I said so that she goes, Nick Cage is on screen for a total 9 minutes and he spends 8 of them being a literal clown.
Yeah.
That was statement number one. And I was like, yes. And then, there's 12 minutes of actual dialogue. 4 of it is in the 11th hour info dump. There's that one, which we discussed. And then I said something about, I said 20 plot or whatever. I said so many. And she said maybe 10 less plot holes than Speak No Evil, but still 32 many. Yeah. So that's my sister's opinion on this too. So she's in our camp though, Eli. We got at least a couple of people. Good.
Because anybody that likes good movies that I've talked to, they're like, I don't like this. And then there's like people who I don't know. So I don't know what their movie taste is like, are the ones that are like, it was really good. And I want to be like, well, what is your favorite movie then? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuart Little, like fucking, what's your all-time greatest movie that that you're saying this is a good movie?
I had a friend text me too right after I saw it, and he happened to text me about something else. But he is avid movie watcher, but very, very big horror fan. Like one of my oldest horror friends, I used to, has seen like I like loosely use the word cinephile, but has seen like everything, especially with horror, like everything, indie, weird, like whatever. And like he liked this, and I really wanted to be like, but why? Like, I think he said it was fun. I'm like, it's not fucking fun. This movie is fucking dumb as fuck. Like, there's nothing fun about it. All it does is infuriate you, like decision after decision. And I don't mean character decisions. I mean, the decisions the movie makes are infuriating because they're dumb and they make no sense.
You know what? The only fun moment I had in this movie.
Did you have a fun moment? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you this fun moment. We were leaving the theater. It was over. And I went to go to the bathroom. And there was an older gentleman who left the theater at the same time we did. And like, Mary went to the restroom and I went to the restroom and he like walked beside me. Like I picked a urinal and he just happens to go to the urinal next to me. And like, it's just quiet, looking down, doing our business. And then he just kind of turns to look at me and goes, what the fuck did I just watch? And I go, I don't know. He goes, that wasn't good. And then he turns around and washes his hands. Like, that was the funnest moment. I didn't know this guy. No clue who he was. Never met him before. And he just literally, that movie was so bad. He turned to a stranger in a urinal and was like, and asked this stranger, what the fuck did I just watch? And you know what? I didn't have an answer for him because I was trying to figure it out myself.
Oh my God. So now I want to say to our audience that like, we both are a little removed from this. Because like I said, neither of us like wanted to put this on again. If you had heard our rantings right after this movie came out too, they were even more heated than this conversation, which is also what I promised to bring for our future, because I am willing to all these movies that we're going to discuss. I have watched only one time basically and have not put back on, but I am willing to do that for this.
I tell you what, so maybe we should do a little poll, Jamie, see which one they want to do next.
Yeah, I have like at least 5. I mean, if you down, I know them top of my head.
Yeah. Good. Give them their options.
Here's some options. So here's the rules. There are no rules, but there are no rules except it's what Eli and I are willing to rant about. But
yes,
the rules are that we wanted to actually keep it to movies that are actually kind of loved, like that seem to be like more praised, like this one was. Eli to some degree. We're not just going to do bad movies that everybody hates, because that's no fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like the point is that we have good taste. Everybody else has bad taste. And we need to
We're here to educate you fools. We're here to educate you fools.
Yeah. And explain why you were wrong when you watched this movie. So to that point, and you could add the ones that I am forgetting. Here's some, I guess I'll even do 5. I think off the top of my head, I have 5, right?
Yeah.
These are movies that have been praised when I talk to people. And I have said, really? We've got It Follows. Fuck that movie. We've got Hereditary.
Ooh,
fuck the movie.
I'm ready to smack that one around.
I should say we obviously want to do horror, but we've got Evil Dead Rise. Don't get me fucking started.
Oh, I'm ready.
That movie. We did say something about Speak No Evil. The remake is coming out, so we might have to just like wait. We might have to see how bad that one is too, or we could do a double. We could do like
double feature.
Compare if they're both terrible, which I don't doubt that they will be.
Yep.
We could like kind of discuss why they were both the worst thing I've ever seen. I might be forgetting like a number 5 that we had.
Now I know this movie is kind of polarizing. I feel like it's at a 50%. One of the other options I threw out there was Hereditary. The Exorcist Believer.
That one too. Yeah,
it had enough support that they announced they're doing the sequel.
And I haven't seen it, so that's why we said that one too, because I still haven't seen it. I didn't plan on seeing it because I knew how bad it was going to be, but I will do it for this.
It's a middle of the road. And so Jamie, it might be our job to push it to
make sure people. Okay, so repeating, and I'll even, because if everybody wants to leave a comment with like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, we'll do it again. I'll write it down so that I don't forget what is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But we've got 1, It Follows. 2, Hereditary. 3, Evil Dead Rise. Right, that's the order.
Yep.
4, and again, we might have to come back to this one, so kind of don't pick it. Speak No Evil, right? Am I saying the right,
right
yes, title this time? That was in the horror community as being such a fucked up movie. And then number 5 is the new Exorcist. New Exorcist.
The Exorcist Believer, or as after I watched it, because I hated it so much, I started calling it The Exorcist Believer.
So those are the choices. And all those movies, to some degree, I have heard, well, not the last one. Well, again, Eli made the point to the last one, but all those movies, 1, 2, 3, 4, to varying degrees, have been what people have said are the best fucking movies of that year, the best horror. We're talking horror here. I'm not like whatever Oscar nominated movie came out that year is not what I'm talking about. But, you know, the things I've heard about Hereditary or It felt like being the greatest horror movie, and I fucking loathe these movies. I have not put them on again. I think I've seen pieces of Hereditary, but that's neither here nor there. I've not put them on again. I didn't plan on putting them on again. They're right here on a post-it. Eli will fucking suffer through it again.
If I have to watch it, I have, and I'll wait till we do that episode. Every time someone asks me what I think about Hereditary, I say one sentence, and then people tell me I'm wrong, and then I state my case, and then they all go, "Well, huh?"
Oh,
so I'll save it for the episode, though.
Okay,
I'll save it for the episode.
I will say the one thing about Hereditary, and I'll save it, but like, okay, this isn't even, is like, I was watching it and then I got food delivered and I paused it and I said, holy fuck, we're only like a quarter of the way into this. I thought I was fucking 3/4 of the way into this movie. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding. This movie, I have to go. That's it.
You know what? I'll give a teaser. Maybe this will push people to choose this one. I will make this argument on the episode, and I have yet to find anybody who told me I was wrong. Hereditary is nothing but an artsy remake of Paranormal Activity. And I can make that argument.
You can say why. Okay. All right.
I will stand by that statement. And it's not a good remake of it.
No, because I'd rather watch Paranormal. The original, you're saying. The original.
Yeah, the original. Yep.
I'd rather watch Paranormal Activity.
100%.
All right. Those are our choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Do you choose those people? Put them in the comment. Hit up the.
Can you do like a poll on Instagram? So we'll do that. Yeah. When we'll talk about this when we release like a little clip of this or a preview of what we did. We'll put the poll of what we should do next.
Yep. And you can follow us on Instagram, Wicked While We Are. Check out our website. We're also on the YouTube, which is how you found us. When you're watching this little fun little YouTube short. We're on the Twitters or X or whatever the hell they're calling it these days.
Oh, I still say Twitter. Yeah.
The Twitter X Twitter
X.
Slasher. But yeah, you're watching this on YouTube. This is a fun little YouTube thing we decided to do because in the comments people were asking for it, and now we figured it's a little fun way to fill out our YouTube.
Asking you shall receive.
That way, Jamie and I get this anger out. We get the anger out. Sometimes.
Also, I'm saying this without even telling Eli because he doesn't know this is coming out. But as we started this, I now promise to Eli and I will come dressed in the same color because I like this.
Oh yeah, we did that by pure accident too. Pure accident. Same color. And everything. That way, we have that the hatred just funnels together. I think it's part of the process.
Yeah.
And then we can have a better week because we get this. Because the way I see it, we had this conversation. I'm patting the dirt on Longlegs, and I will never watch it again.
Same.
Not even if I get threatened to be beaten with a stick. I will not watch this movie ever again. I think that's going to be my rule too. When we do these episodes, Jamie,
that's it.
Those will be the last times I watch those movies.
Okay.
Not even like it would take a substantial amount of money or rare Lord of the Rings memorabilia for me to even consider. And even then, you better be bringing a pretty big receipt for me to watch Longlegs again because I never want to see or hear Nicolas Cage doing a Steven Tyler impersonation ever again.
It's so bad. I don't know. I don't know who praised him. It's so bad. What award? He's not getting any award for this. I'm telling you that right now.
If he does, film is dead.
Yeah.
Film is dead. The art of film is dead.
There.
It died. But all right, everybody. Well, hey, appreciate you listening and see you for the next rant.